My family moved to the Flathead Valley when I was 6 years old. And it was during the Depression, and my mother had musical instruments for all three of us. Where she got them, I don't know. Maybe she was a bank robber, but we didn't have any money. My dad worked for the WPA. We all, my dad included, all played musical instruments. Mom with the piano, sister at the alto sax, my brother at trombone, and I was a baritone. And that's how we got along. I started liking big band music back when 15, maybe 16 years old. I liked that sound and I wanted to create that sound. I wanted to create the sound with my right hand, writing the notes for the kids to play. But I had to learn too. And I learned that in the Air Force, just being around other guys who had in various stages of their education. And I tried writing an arrangement, and they complimented me so much. They said, "Don, don't quit that. Just keep writing for us, okay?" So I did. I met Barbara. We went to a big band dance, blindfolded, almost. Yeah, she jumped in the back seat of this car with my buddy, and our eyes met, and we knew we were going to spend our life together. Six weeks later, we were married. My wife was already a registered nurse, and she says, "Don, I don't know what you're going to have for a vocation. All I know is you're going to spend every cent of your GI Bill." And it was says, well, for 4 years in the Air Force, I blew my horn. And I said, I still like doing it, so maybe that is encouraging to get into some field of music. Anyway, it was her constant inspiration and coming to see what I was doing. It was important to her that whatever I was going to do, I was going to be good at it.
said our last goodbye, I'll stand here in the shadows thinking of you. Now my shadow keeps me company. That's all I have to comfort me. I'll stand here in the shadows thinking of you. Standing in the shadows.
I wasn't good enough to play professionally, but I can teach people to get started. Maybe that's where it's at. The head of the music school came out of his office and stood right in front of me and says, "Don, Columbia Falls just opened." I went out and jumped in my car and drove up here. I made a phone call to Barbara and says, "I won't be home for supper." and they hired me, and I like being here, and that's why I'm still here. 1959, I started here.
I started playing in the 6th grade with Don through junior high and into high school, obviously. And he was just a tremendous role model. He expected a lot of us, and he never shied away from expressing that. He was never harsh, he was never cruel by any stretch. But we rose to the occasion because we knew he had a high standard.
I love writing for trombones. You listen to my music and you know, and you understand that that's the truth.
I was playing a trombone solo, and he stopped and said, "Larry Gookin, you need to say something when you play your music." And that stuck with me throughout my whole career. Music has to be the expression of the soul and emotional. And if it's not worth listening to.
Without a doubt, the best teacher I ever had. He was sometimes quite hard and difficult, but that was good for me.
One of the things I especially like about Mr. Lawrence is that we always started our concerts on time. It wasn't 1 minute after 7, it was 7. If he said the concert starts at 7.
It was a remarkable experience doing music with him because it enlightened my life. It gave me a lot of focus in my life, and it's been a major part of my life. I learned from Don about being a good person, about being a good teacher and learner. I went on and spent almost 30 years in public education myself. A lot of the things that led me to that job were the experiences I had with Don.
I've had those moments that cannot be repeated. No matter, you can use note for note, the same notes, but you'll get a different music. And maybe that's what I like about music. And writing music, that would never be heard if you hadn't written it.
I have to thank Don for everything, really, when I think back at that, because he gave us a lot of challenges. He would make things harder than maybe had to be at times, but he knew that we would be able to play it.
The professionalism and I don't know if it's really perfection, but the strive to be the best. We always got good marks at festivals, both individuals, small groups, and the band as a whole. And I think that's a credit to Mr. Lawrence because that's what he expected of us and that's what he got out of us.
But he just expected the best out of us, and he knew how to get it out of us. And with people being different, that's hard to do. It's a gift he had.
He's the most dedicated person I've ever met. Most dedication to the art, the craft of music.
I've often sat with Barbara and said, what would I have done if I hadn't taken on a music teaching job?
I took the discipline and the high standards that I believe I did learn in music and from Don specifically, and applied that to other endeavors, and I was successful because of those things. I'm quite sure of that.
I'm personally thankful for the impact that it has had on me, my children, and now my 16 grandchildren. They all have music in their lives, so because of his impact on me, we have three generations of people who are involved in music because of him and his commitment to our program here at Columbia Falls.
He was my musical godfather, and I really believe that. I don't get on the podium without doing something that he did in teaching us music in the past.
And I've always wanted to tell him somehow what a measurable impact he had on my life.
He's music royalty here. Music royalty. All he's done for the music community here, unbelievable. With the big band, with the community band, with the brass works, everything that he is. He's, you know, his face is, you know, amongst all the musical things that have happened in this valley, and so he's you know, he's a legend.
I know one thing for sure. If I hadn't had her, I could never have done what happened for me. That never would have happened.